Hey everybody, Frugal Farmer here. This plant is called pigweed. Pigweed grows pretty high and it can be a nuisance, but there's also a good use for it. Back in before my time, little kids used to go around and harvest this to feed their livestock. The reason it's called pigweed is because pigs loved it. Well, they'd harvest it, bring this to the pigs to eat, and this would help cut down on the amount of corn that you had to feed these pigs. And pigs were kept longer back then because normally you're breeding your boars unless you pick some out and you cut them, which cutting them means you're cutting uh, parts away from them, and they're just going to be used for meat. They'll no longer be able to breed. And but you got more of a underbelly to the pigs, and you're able to get more lard and bacon. And they raise these pigs so fast now it's hard to get that anymore. But saying was that if you didn't get 2 5-gallon buckets of lard off a pig at killing time, that weren't much of a pig. Well, most hogs free ranged back in the day because they were um, feed trained. They knew where their feed was, so they didn't go too far, and kids go find them. And then when population started increasing, people started uh, fencing in their hogs, which that meant they had to feed them more. Where a pig can free range, and down in South Carolina, there was this place I used to go as a kid, and people would let their hogs free range. And what they did, they cut their ears, and everybody around there pretty much knew, whose cut was who. So when it came time to start killing hogs, they caught your hog, they'd send word to you that they had your hog at their place, and everybody kind of did that. Well, there was this man that hit one of those hogs, and he saw the cuts on the ear, and he knew something was up. Somebody told him how that worked down there. Well, he wanted to find out whose hog that was, and nobody would tell him. So he came back down there and he killed 3 hogs. He had a big barbecue for everybody. Well, some people that had hogs down there heard about that, and they were mad. So they came up and questioned the man. They wanted to see the head, see if it was their hogs. And he said there was no way to tell. He said nobody could tell whose hog that was that I hit, so there would be no way to tell whose hogs these are. And but that was the end of that story. And people, they weren't real happy about it. But I guess that guy, he wanted to dish out some kind of revenge, so that was his, having a big pig picking for people. But hogs were fed slop out of the house. Normally water was added to this to make it go further. And you kept your hogs watered, but it was up to the kids to gather. They'd gather acorns, um, uh, fruit that had gone bad. Anything you could feed those hogs to put in that gut, you fed them. And a lot of hogs will eat vines and stuff. I know mine, they like vines. And a lot of times I'll find areas where the vines are growing and I'll pull them off old building walls. And they're pretty easy. You just clip them at the base and then just walk backwards with them and they'll fall right off. And my hogs tend to love those. But back in the old days, they'd feed them like that just to keep from having to use up your corn, because you was wanting your corn for you to grind up for cornmeal or feed chickens or whatever. And that's how they used to do it, folks. But thanks for stopping by. Come back again when you will. Share, comment, like. Hit that subscribe button. God bless.